no change in doctrine or church teachings today, but we are suggesting a way forward in which those with different views on these complex subjects can together seek for solutions that will be fair to everyone.
It is the law of chastity in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, stating that any sexual relations outside of opposite-sex marriage are contrary to the will of God. The Mormon faith has been rather strict about such matters, but an announcement from church leaders this week has more than a few members of the congregation somewhat puzzled, and also wondering if the Mormons are playing politics or seeking earthquake-style change in their doctrine. Let's welcome to MidPoint. He is CEO of Secular Media Group, LLC, host of Dogma Debate Radio, a former Christian musician who, after studying his faith, became an atheist. David Smalley joins us on the show. David, nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
So, all right, David, let's see here. They're pledging to support anti-discrimination laws for gays, lesbians, bisexuals, and transgender people, as long as the laws also protect the rights of religious groups. Are they really throwing out an olive branch here, or is this politics at its best?
You know, I've got to say, anytime someone steps up and says, I support equality, especially of the LGBT community, which is a lot of what my show does and my company does, I stand with them and say I support that. But I do smell a rat here, okay? I do smell a rat. And here's why. What they're saying ultimately is we support anti-discrimination laws to protect gays, as long as those same laws protect us and allow us to continue discriminating against those gays. They're trying to pretend right now that they are on the forefront of anti-discrimination, that they are some very progressive religious faith. Here's the fact. They put millions and millions of dollars into Prop 8 several years ago. We know that. They had a policy which prevented blacks from receiving the priesthood in the Mormon Church until 1979. I mean, these are not the most progressive thinkers in our society, but they're sort of trying to rebrand themselves right now as if they are.
All right, now, that rebranding here. Mitt Romney has run twice for the president of the United States. He may run a third time, and Mitt Romney is a Mormon. Do you think perhaps that there is maybe some sort of I never use the word conspiracy, I think that's ridiculous, but just an open idea here that, well, maybe if we come out and we're a little bit more open, maybe that would help Mitt Romney down the road because he is one of us?
I'm glad you said that instead of me. That's exactly what's happening. They are prepping for a Mitt Romney presidential run, and they want to pretend like they're the good guys. Hey, we have nothing to hide. We're fine with it. I encourage all of your viewers. It sounds great in the headline. You may be thinking right now that the Mormon Church is a progressive ideology or a progressive religion. Read 2 lines past it. Listen to them talk for more than 2 or 3 minutes. Don't just read the headlines. They still quote Romans 1:26 through 32 in the Bible, which says that homosexuals are worthy of death. This is in the New Testament. And they also still blatantly say that homosexuality is a sin. Now, what they're saying is don't discriminate against people for being sinners.
Okay, I have to stop you because you're right on that, but I've only got about a minute left. Let me play the other side of this. What if this is truly a new generation of Mormons who believe that it is time to be more open, and maybe they are trying to change some of the doctrine of the church and perhaps try to bring it more into the 21st century thinking? That would be a very laudable thing in your eyes, wouldn't it?
It would, but they're going to have to abandon this, the Book of Mormon. They're going to have to let it go. They're going to have to abandon the Bible and abandon the Book of Mormon if they want to be accepting of gays, because you can't have it both ways.
But wait a minute, you know that they're not going to do that. This is their faith. Isn't faith something perhaps that you can change as you move along? Because the one thing they're saying here is this is contrary to the laws of God. We can't change the laws of God. So that would seem to indicate that nobody of a religious belief can change anything that God believes.
Well, that's the thing. They can tap into their humanistic values, the same ones that I use from a secular humanist perspective, and treat everyone with respect. But it's really difficult to try to do that and then build your platform on a book that you get your morality from, which also says these same people that you love are worthy of death or are committing a sin when they're not really hurting anyone.
Can you say would you, 10 seconds, would you consider this at least a positive step forward?
I think it is, because it's going to cause people to look into it, and I think the fact that they can't abandon their doctrine proves that this is purely a marketing and political move on their part.
And at least we get a chance to talk about it and get both sides of it. And David Smalley, always a pleasure to have you on the show, David. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, the place where the special people dwell. No, we don't mean Washington. A trip to Outland, no ticket necessary, is next.